welcome to this year's online webinar for incoming first year students 2022. Due to the current circumstances, we're still unable to have you in the school, but if you do want to come and see the school, you can make an appointment with the principal. So this evening we're going to go through, so what we're going to look at is Principal Martin Gleeson is going to go through the transfer programme, the curriculum, student progression, extracurricular activities. Our Deputy Principal Angela Conroy is going to take you through our communication system, our pastoral care and student supports, our uniform. I'm the homeschool liaison, so I'll tell you a bit about that. And our canteen administrator, Kelly Luby, will talk to you about our canteen. So I'm just going to hand you over now to our Principal Martin Gleeson to carry on the webinar.
Again, you're very welcome to the Coláiste Mhuire webinar for incoming first years next year. And a big welcome to all the parents, to guardians and to students that are watching. I know it's a big decision that has to be made over the next month or so as to the school that you would choose to take for post-primary education. And it is a crossroads, and it's a big decision that you have to make as parents. So I suppose the whole idea of our webinar tonight is just to go through what we have to offer in Coláiste Mhuire, and I'm going to just take you through some of the part of the curriculum that will be covered in first year. So the first thing anyway is our transfer programme. I would have visited the primary schools, and I would really like to thank all the primary schools for the very warm welcome that they gave me, and all the students that I had met in my week when I was going to the primary schools. As Anya spoke about earlier, that unfortunately normally this time of the year we would have students in for our open day on Friday, but that can no longer happen because of COVID. So to overcome that, we have a virtual tour on our website on www.coláistemhuirekk.ie, and if you go on that, you'll be able to walk to our school. Equally, as Anya mentioned, you can email the school in at info@coláistemhuirekk.ie, and you can make an appointment and we will show you around the school, and you're more than welcome to do that, and we'll get back onto you. If you email in, we can get back onto you. The enrolment forms for the school we give to the students when on the primary school visit, and they have to be returned to the school. Entrance exams are in February, and again that's down to COVID, and this year we're just after finishing with our present first years. We're only have to finish them after when they have come into school. We hopefully again will run an Easter camp, which goes down very, very well with students that are joining us, and that's a 4-day Easter camp, and again that's COVID compliant, and hopefully we'll be able to run that. First year students are back earlier than other students, so they'll get 2 days into school come end of August, early September. They'll get 2 days into the school, and that's where we'll run different programs, and they get to be shown around the school, and gives them time to meet teachers and to get lockers and books and so on. So it's a time where they get to know each other, and hopefully then we'll run a bonding day when they come in September. So again, how to apply to our school. So as I said, the form was distributed in 6th class on the primary school visits. It's also available on the website or by contacting the school office. And it is important that we get a hard copy of the form. Some people emailed it in last year, but we have to get the hard copy. So if you can drop it into the school, or if you can post it back into us. We also require the original long birth certificate with the form, and this will be returned to you by post. And following the deadline date of December the 3rd, our SEN coordinator will contact the primary school gathering some information. So once we have our process done and that you've been accepted into the school, that our primary will be again doing some primary school visits, and our SEN team will be going out, and any information that can be transferred and passed over will happen at that time. The breakdown of the form, the enrolment form, there's quite a bit of detail in it and required. So the section 1 is just about the student detail. Section 2 is parent and guardian details, it's just details about yourselves. Section 3 is the selection criteria for admissions, and that's a very important part that we look at, because if we should be oversubscribed, we have to go back to our admissions policy, which you will see on our website. Section 4 is applications to other school. If you have applied to other school, we need to know that. Section 5 is the education details, that if your child should have an exemption in Irish or some learning support needs, that again, that's giving you opportunities just to fill in some information in that area. Section 6 are any medical details that we need to know about. And then we have a section on the policies, our code of behaviour, our GDPR, which is data protection, book scheme, ICT, acceptable use policy, and that's just signing up to some of the policies and some legislative work that we have to have done prior to your students joining our school. And then we just look for the first year subject preferences. And the subject preferences, we may have to use that. We use that information to make up our timetable. So we'd ask you to fill out that as well. And we may rely back on that when it comes to subject choices in September and October. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. And then at the end of the form, there's a checklist that you can run through to make sure everything. So the next section I'm taking you through is the curriculum and the first year curriculum. This year we moved to 1 hour classes, and we're going to be evaluating that at the end of this year, and more than likely we'll be sticking with 1 hour classes next year. So they are going down very well. And within that then, the maths, Irish and English are 3 of the core subjects, and they'll have 3 classes of that a week. Geography and history are also core classes, and they have 2 classes of geography, 2 classes of history a week. We have business as being a core subject for all first years, again 2 classes a week. And science, all students will take sciences as such. So at the start of first year, the students will get a 5-week taster program where they get a chance to sample all the subjects that they have had in their application form. After the 5 weeks, they'll have to pick 3 of them subjects. The subjects being French, Spanish, graphics, known to some as technical graphics, junior engineering, which was the old metalwork, wood technology, home economics, art and music. That gives a total of 10 examinable subjects for the junior cycle. Here we also do coding, digital literacy, and that's 2 classes per week. We'll do religious education for 2 class periods a week also. 400 hours over the 3 years of the junior cycle are dedicated to the wellbeing program. That is made up of SPHE, which is social personal health education, CSPE, physical education PE, which is 1 class a week, and wellbeing for 1 class a week also. The wellbeing modules that we cover here is the GAA Going Well program, the guidance related modules, communication skills, presentation skills, which are building confidence, music therapy, friends for life, mindfulness and yoga. These programs can change from year to year. A lot of the programs we evaluate at the end of the year, and we may change or modify some of them programs. So when you get the timetable, this is what it looks like. We have 6 classes because we've moved to 1 hour classes. We have 6 classes on every day. So here you'll see this is our Monday, where there's 2 starting in the morning. We start at 8:50, 10 to 9. We have a break time after the first 2 classes. Then we have 2 1 hour classes, followed by lunchtime, and 2 1 hour classes finishing at 10 to 4 in the evening. And on a Friday, you can see that we have a half day where we finish at 10 past 1. Following on and thinking down the road, we have the Leaving Certificate subjects, and there's a list of what we run here, and they all follow on from the 10 subjects that's what they do for junior cycle. We do think that the 10 subjects give them a very broad range of subjects that they can continue on for Leaving Certificate, where they have to pick 7 subjects, and the majority of them would be picked from those that they would have done at junior cycle level. So having the 10 subjects gives them a broader range of subjects to pick at Leaving Cert, from at Leaving Cert. Just an indicator of where some of our students went from last year and the points that they were receiving at Leaving Cert level. So our top score was 613 points, and that chap is going to UL doing engineering, and so on. You will see where a lot of our students are going on to university, are going on to do further education. 60% of our students are going to 3rd level college, 20% are going doing PLC courses and will eventually move on then into the workplace or can go on to further education. And 20% of our students have gone into the world of work and have taken up apprenticeships. And out of that 20%, some are taking up work for the year and have deferred their college placement. So the one thing we pride ourselves in Coláiste Mhuire is that we provide an education for all students, for those that want to go to college and those that want to do the apprenticeships and move into it. And that is becoming a big part and a huge part of life as well, that a lot of students will move on and do apprenticeships as well. So we cater for all the students within Coláiste Mhuire. Extracurricular activities, thankfully, we've moved into a space now after the last 2 years of not being able to run games or have games in the school because of COVID. We've moved back into the space of being able to provide it, and it's quite a busy time in school coming in with all the competitions. So as being in the hotbed of hurling and camogie, they are our biggest sports in the school, and a lot of our students partake in that. So we do have the camogies, the hurling. We have basketball, which has taken up, and it's a big, very popular with the girls. We have soccer teams, and badminton and chess and trad music and choir are all part of the extracurricular programs that we run. In TY, we have a lot of extracurricular activities also, such as the Young Social Innovators and Skyfest and technology clubs and so on. So there's a huge array of programs and of extracurricular activities that suits the needs of all the students in school. So I'll now hand you over to our Deputy Principal, Ms. Conroy, who will take her through the communication systems that we have in the school and the pastoral care, the pastoral care system that we have, the student supports and the school uniform. Thank you.
So I'm Angela Conroy, the Deputy Principal here in Coláiste Mhuire, and I'm going to talk to you first of all about the communication systems in our school. So what we call our IT platform is Office 365. So we would all be very familiar with things like Word and PowerPoint and Excel, but Microsoft offer a huge suite of apps available to school. So we've chosen this one as our platform for our school as a key way of communicating with students and with parents, and it's also a key learning tool in the classroom as well. So it's a cloud-based system, so when students come into the school, they will get an email, a school-related email and a password. And when they log in then, they'll have all this range of apps available to them for their work in school and at home. It's a collaboration space between teachers and students, and it also allows students to generate presentations, work on assignments and homework, and also sharing of notes and documents. We also have a number of mobile device trolleys in the school, and students would regularly use those during the school day. And when they log into it with the device, they log into their own cloud account, so it's unique to them. I suppose the one I would point out here, particularly for students, is Microsoft Teams. So when students come in to school, you'll be hearing about Teams a lot. And for each subject that they have, they will be joining a team with that teacher. And without going into too much detail, there's a chat function in that allows them to communicate with the teacher, and there's also an assignment function that the teachers use a lot, and class note. So you will be hearing a lot about Office 365 and Teams when your son or daughter joins us in Coláiste Mhuire. So a lot of schools also use VSware, and we use VSware as mainly a communication system with parents. So when your son or daughter enroll in Coláiste Mhuire, you will get a username and a password. And when you come into our website, you will see a link to VSware at the top of our website. So when you click on that and log in, you'll be able to come into a screen like this. Your son or daughter's picture will be here at the top of the screen. And down below here, there'll be a dialogue of things that you can use. So mainly students will use it for accessing their timetables. So you'll be able to see their timetable as a parent when you log into VSware. So you'll know exactly where they are at any given point in the day. You will also be able to see their attendance record. And very importantly, you'll be able to see their term reports and assessments. So when you click on that, and as they go through the school, their life here in Coláiste Mhuire, every single report and assessment will be held, and you'll be able to see their progress as they go through school, and also behaviour records as well. So it's really a key communication system that we have with parents. And once you get your login details, you'll be able to access all that information for your son or daughter. And just to mention, if you already have a son or daughter in the school, there's two little arrows here underneath the picture that you can scroll between the accounts, between your children in the school. Also, way to pay. So we have a way to pay system is our payment system in the school. And we chose this because it's a really useful and easy way for paying the school. It's a contactless system. It goes directly to your phone. So you set up an account on your phone and you register a credit card or a debit card to that account. And then any time a school fee is due, like the main fee for our students would be their what we call their book rental fee. So you'll get a message to your phone with a link, and when you go into that link then you'll be able to pay the fee that you owe the school. There's a text message system linked to Way to Pay that we use quite a lot, just for day-to-day communications with parents. So it's very, very straightforward. And I'll come back to our annual book rental fee in a second and go into a little bit more detail about that. But while we call it the book rental fee, it is also, when you pay that, you also pay for lockers, you pay for your school insurance, and a contribution towards mock exams in 3rd and 6th year. So there's no big payout in those years for the mock exams. So that's our Way to Pay system. So just to talk a little bit more about a book rental scheme. So this is an annual payment that is sent out to students in March, April, May, or the year that they enrol in the school. So the details of the payment are on stage 2 forms that Mr. Gleeson talked to you about. And there's a lot about book rental schemes now, why schools aren't using them. So we've been running a book rental scheme in our school for 10, 15 years now. And it is a recycling scheme, so the textbooks are in good condition and recycled. So when your son or daughter comes into first year, they'll get some new textbooks, but they'll also get some that have been recycled, and this helps to keep the cost down. And payment, as we said, will be through our online system, Way to Pay. So I'm going to move on now a little bit to our pastoral care. And our pastoral care structures in the school are our caring structures in the school. So when students come into us in first year, it's a big change for them. It's a very significant change in their life, and we're very conscious of that. And that's why we said we have a very carefully thought out transfer programme. And also those first couple of days when they come into us in August, late August, they're just in the school on their own to help them settle in. So 2 very important people in the school for your son or daughter is going to be their class teacher and their year head. So the class teacher is what we kind of commonly describe as the go-to person. So for any small little concerns they have, worries they have, how do I do this, where do I go to do that, the class teacher is the person who's assigned to help deal with those issues. And then we have a year head who's usually a very experienced member of staff who oversees the whole of the year. And they kind of see how the whole year are bonding together, how they're getting on, how they're behaving. It's the year head that really communicates with parents if there's any concern or if there's any issue. They also speak to teachers on students' behalf if there's little worries or struggles going on or having a little bit of difficulty in any subject. Other supports we have, you've already met Anya Monaghan at the start. She's our school home community liaison officer. We have a guidance counsellor, Valerie Dempsey, who does more work with senior cycle, but she certainly will introduce herself to first years, and she'll do some little programmes with them so they become familiar who she is. We have a pastoral care team in the school who meet weekly, so we kind of monitor how things are going, and if there's any additional supports that students need, particularly around times where there's a little bit of stress in their life, we put those in place. We have a very good special educational needs team, the SEN team, and they are very focused on students who might have the need for some learning support in the school. And then we have other school services, like Kelly Luby is going to talk to about our canteen, which is very popular with all our students. And also we do 2 after-school study clubs. One is supervised study, and that's for 3rd and 6th year for exam students in their exam year. And homework club that focuses on homework support for 1st and 2nd years. And in homework club we do have some teachers there, sometimes a maths teacher or English teacher, who's able to help out students if they're having difficulty and give support. And so we believe that early intervention is possible. So we encourage our students from the word go when they come in. We encourage them to build a rapport with their subject teacher, their class teacher, the year head. And if there's any concerns, that they come and talk to us about that early. So early intervention is very important. If students are struggling with homework, I suppose that we advise parents that they are taking that little more independent step in secondary school. So we encourage you to tell them to go and talk to their teacher rather than getting into the habit of writing too many notes. So they come up at the start of the class and they talk to the teacher and they say, I had a bit of trouble doing that homework. And it's important that that rapport is built up between students and the teacher. If the issue is not resolved, you can always email the school and ask the year head to contact you, and they're very happy to do that. Going back to homework club, that's particularly for 1st and 2nd years, as we said, and that's from 4 to 5:30 Monday to Thursday. It will start towards the end of September, and we will be in contact with you about it. So normally we'll send out a text message with an application form linked to it that you can fill in if you want to your son or daughter to apply for it. It does get them into good habits of study and homework, so we do recommend it, particularly if they are struggling, that they have the teacher support there to help them. It finishes, the homework club finishes at 5:30 and they must be collected by a parent then. Our evening study is for 3rd and 6th years, and that goes on a little bit longer until 6:15, and that usually is for 5th and 6th year students or for 3rd year students who are kind of preparing for the more serious exams. And the last thing then is talking a little bit about our disciplinary structures. So hopefully a lot of the effort goes in 1st and 2nd year to get them to settle in and to build that rapport. But we do have what we call a tiered approach to disciplinary issues, and if there is a little bit of an issue where a student might not be cooperating, or if there's a little bit of lack of effort, the first protocol is to have the conversation with the students, sit down, have the talk and see what's going on. And sometimes there may be a little issue holding them back that we're not aware of, that we can put some supports in place. We record most behaviour on VSware, so if we get to a point that it's becoming repetitive behaviour and we think you as parents should know about it, you can check in on behaviour on VSware and you'll see both positive and negative comments there for students. If there's an accumulation of behaviour, we will be in touch early, and our disciplinary issues usually are resolved quickly, and we don't really go down the road of the road of sanctions until we feel that every other avenue has been exhausted. Also, our Code of Behaviour policy is quite a long policy, is up on our website under at the top you'll see a tag for policies, and you'll see it there. Just to mention a little bit about bullying as well, and I suppose in secondary school it can be something that rears its head from time to time. So just to understand what bullying is, it's unwanted negative behaviour, be it verbal, like name calling, psychological, might be isolating somebody, physical, is kind of hitting somebody, conducted by an individual or a group to another person or persons, and is repeated over time. Now, that's the key word, it's repeated over time, but of course if anything like this happens in the school, we would like to know about it at an early stage to stop it becoming more serious or to becoming a bullying incident. We encourage your son or daughter to report the bullying to their class teacher or year head, or if you're concerned about it, you can always ring the school as a parent. We do use what's called a restorative approach to bullying, because a lot of the time we have to educate students about their behaviour, and that they might not even realise their behaviour might beginning to be elements of bullying. They sometimes think it's only messing. We see the mobile phone policy is there as well. And I suppose a lot of sixth class students get their mobile phone in sixth class, and they have it coming into the secondary school. And when we're dealing with a large number of students in a school, we have to have a policy around phones. So our policy is very clear. It's a not visible policy. So when students come in, they must have permission, and that's from the time they arrive in the bus until the time they go home in the evening. They must have their phone out of sight, and they can only use it if they have permission from the teacher. So we go into a lot more detail about our anti-bullying policy, in particular our mobile phone policy. When students are enrolled in the school, we give them a lot of information about it and are very clear about what's expected of them. Just our school uniform. First of all, to mention our school uniform suppliers, the main one is Paul's in Kilkenny, Paul's Department Store in Kilkenny, and they do have an online ordering system where you can see all the prices. So we are very proud of our school uniform. It is worn very well, and we expect students to be in the full and correct uniform every day. So I'm just going to ask maybe the camera to pan over here to our two models here, our two mannequins. So you'll see the colours of our school uniform are the royal blue V-neck jumper and either the grey skirt or trousers. And it has a white Revere blouse for the girls and a white shirt for the boys. And this is our school jacket, and we do insist on it. So school jacket is compulsory, and we do ask that students wear proper school shoes. So it doesn't really matter what colour they are, black, brown, navy, but they must be school shoes. It is important as well that you label all uniform items correctly before they come in. If there's any issue about a uniform item being damaged or need to be repaired, you just write a note into their student journal to explain, and you must write in as well how long it's going to take for the repair and when they expect to be back in uniform again. So I'm going to hand you over now to our School Home Community Liaison Officer, Miss Anya Monaghan.
Thanks, Ms. Connor. So as Ms. Connor said, I'm the homeschool liaison here in Coláiste Mhuire. So really what I am is I'm a link between home and school. So I'm a support for you as the parent at home with school. So the main things, there's three strands that I would look at would be attendance, retention and participation. So all are very, very important in ensuring that your son or daughter has a happy school life here in Coláiste Mhuire. So what I'll be looking at is making sure that they're in every day and getting in contact with you if there's not, or if there's a pattern of attendance missed. So that's one of the big things. I'll be in contact with you, phone calls, house calls, and different ways of just communicating to ensure that your son or daughter is happy within the school. But they are the three areas that are very important within my role. Also, we've been encouraging attendance, so over the years we've looked at monthly raffles, student attendance committee, and I'd also work closely with the EWO, that's the Education Welfare Officer, and I also work with TUSLA on people who may not attend as well. So with getting in touch with parents and having activities for parents, it's important that the parent does participate within the school life as well. So we have a parents book club, community careers directory, coffee mornings, and there's an array of day and evening classes as well. But with COVID, I suppose they have been curtailed, but hopefully within the coming weeks and months that they'll all be getting back up and running again. There's also popular third level colleges trips, and there's workshops delivered by MAB. So they're just some of the things that have been done and that we will continue to do when COVID ends. So basically, I'm a direct line of communication between the home and school, and my main objective is to encourage parents to take part in our activities, to contribute to school life, to be empowered to support your child's education, and to become a valued member of your school community. So and I look forward to working with you over the next couple of years. So I now pass you on to Kelly Luby, who's going to talk to you about the canteen.
Hi, welcome to the webinar this evening. I'm Kelly. I'm going to give you a little introduction to the canteen here in Coláiste Mhuire. For those of you that may be familiar with the canteen already, Pat Long is the canteen manager. She's the one that's going to be here every day up in the canteen serving all the kids. I'm in the office based, so I'll be talking to most of the parents to set up your accounts when you come to school, which I'm going to touch base on shortly. And obviously we have a good team of catering staff up there that work alongside Pat every day, and your children will get to know them fairly well by the time the first term is out. They'll be on first name basis, I'd say. Now the school run 4 food clubs over the year. They are the breakfast club, light lunch, also known as the small break, and our dinner club, which is a lunchtime, and then we do the homework and study club for anyone availing of that. I'm going to talk about them in more detail in a few minutes. I'm also going to touch base on our ordering system, which is new since COVID, and we have a new voucher system that's set up as well. The canteen opening times are from 8 in the morning till 3, so any people that are in early off the bus are welcome to come up to the canteen, and if they do, they can avail of the breakfast club. Okay, the breakfast club is free to all students in the school, so anyone who comes in 7:45, 8 o'clock, 8:15, whatever time the bus comes in, they order this online on the system, they come up and they can pick up their selection that they pre-ordered. We have a huge range this year. It goes from cereal toast, we introduced homemade scones, brown bread and crackers. There's a big array that should suit every student. Moving on to small break or the light lunch. This menu is only a selection of what we have. When you log in online, when you set up your account, you'll actually see the full menu we do. Our price ranges from 50 cents up to 110 is the max you'll pay at light lunch. Now, like I said a minute ago, there's a voucher system in place, so that offsets a lot of that price, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So just basically what you can get for your first small break. The kids can get paninis, choice of filling, there's wraps, toasties, you can get Caesar salads, homemade soup. Now we do snack items if children don't want to eat as much in the morning break. And we do our fruit bowls and cheese and crackers. And again, on this option there's free drinks available. The children are welcome to come and get them. Straight after that then we have our lunch break. Okay, as I already said, the first year students get a 10-minute head start on the rest of the school, so they get out without the crowd coming up, and they get to collect their food, and they usually have it ate before the rest of the school come out as well. So in our lunchtime club we do a special of the day. This is run 4 days a week. I've given a few samples of dinners. Now the array is huge, and there's only one put up per day, and again you'll see it on the menu. We change the menu every week. Everything that was available on the light lunch club is also available for lunchtime, so you can get your paninis and your wraps and your salads as well as your main dinner of the day. Once the children come up for their food, they can also get a free piece of fruit and a drink. That's available to everybody. Now we do have people that require special dietary needs, and we cater for all them, and it is increasing and we are aware of it, and we do training on everything to make sure we're up to standard with allergies and everything, and our menu will support this, and you'll see we have vegan options and vegetarian options. All we ask is when you do go into the system, you select the right option, so we as staff know exactly what we're ordering for. Now we have the homework and study club. This is if your children avail of what Angela was talking about. This is again ordered through the school, and they can choose their fillings of what they want in any of these selections, and it's free to all students that avail of the homework or study club. And then our ordering system. So our ordering system is, like I said, new since COVID. It's a live online system. I'm not going to bog you down on it too much. Basically, you'll have to create an account, which is just filling in an information form and submitting it. Once you do that, you will receive an email and you verify the email, and then you will have an automatic canteen account. We do ask you keep that password safe because you will need it to log in going forward to place in orders. And we have two options of placing orders. You can do a daily order or a weekly order. But we'll touch base on all this more next year before you actually start. The voucher system, this is new to all of us this year, and it's going down really well. It entitles students to free food during the week. Okay, now the vouchers will fluctuate during the year, but at present the children are able to get food in the canteen for $4.10 for the week, and that's availing of the 4 food clubs, and that's over the 5 days a week, because the vouchers will automatically come off your total bill online ordering. The vouchers are automatically added to your online account, so you don't need to worry about where do you get them or how do you find them. Once you set up your account, they're automatically there, and the system will work out what you've selected and deduct your voucher price off of it, and your total price then, like I said, if you use the 4 groups for the week, it's only going to cost you $4.10 to eat in the canteen for a full week. So like I said, we'll touch base on that more when the time comes, just to let you know that is available. It runs really well, and you can order from home, so the children don't have to worry about coming into school and not knowing what they got. Once they order from home, let them take a screenshot of it, and they'll know when they come up to the canteen their food will be ready for them. Just if you do want to contact us, if you have any more questions and I haven't touched base on, you can email us there at info@patlongcatering.ie. My number and Pat's number is up there if you'd rather talk to Pat with any food or dietary requirements. The office is open between 8:30 and 3 every day, but like I said, you can send an email and I'll get back to you. Now for the online ordering, we have a website, it's www.patscatering.ie. You won't need it yet, it's maybe just take note of it going forward, and that's where you'll be logging in to register your online account. Okay, talk to you soon. Thank you very much.
So again, thanks to everyone for joining us for the webinar. As I said from the outset, I know it's a big decision and a crossroads that you're at the moment to choose a school for post-primary education. We do hope that you think about sending your son or daughter to us. They'll be very well looked after and catered here. Just some of the important dates going forward, that if you are applying, that November the 8th is the final date for the application form. And it's important that all these sections are complete in the form, or we'll have to send it back to you. We look for the full version of the birth certificate, and that will be returned. Have a look at the policies. They must be signed by, and it's quite clear in it where parent's signature has to go on it and where your son or daughter has to sign as well, and they must be signed. And then the subject choice is at the end, because again, that really builds up information for us for doing work for on timetable in early next year. So it's important that we have all that information. If you have any queries or if you have any questions, our email address is here at the info@coláiste.ie. And again, if you want to have a visit to the school or pay a visit to the school, again, you can book that through our website. So thanks very much for watching the webinar. I hope it was informative, and we look forward to working with you into the future.